Hello, friends. Welcome to Find Hope, Live Well, a show about doing small things to make big changes in your life. I'm Grant Stenzel. My goal is to help you regain hope and walk with you down the path of healing. Through my experience as a licensed clinical professional counselor and former pastor, I enjoy helping individuals and families navigate through mental health issues. On today's episode, we're going to discuss how to manage your stress as a parent and the importance of consistency in parenting. Are you having a hard time coping with the responsibilities of being a parent? Do you find yourself sometimes overwhelmed by the stress brought on by your children, their schedules, or their behavior? Well, I'm here to tell you you're not alone. Being a parent and carrying all the responsibility that being an effective, loving parent entails comes with a lot of stress and frustration. All parents go through this as they raise their children. Many of the moms and dads I work with come in feeling guilty or disappointed with themselves for feeling lost and overwhelmed by the frustrations of parenting. In many cases, these feelings stem from parents forgetting to take care of themselves. You give your children timeouts to calm down, take timeouts yourself. Taking breaks at key moments when you feel angry, overwhelmed, or overtired is essential. Think about an airplane. Each time you get on, you're reminded that, should something happen, you need to put that oxygen mask on yourself first before helping others. Why? Because if you grow weak or are incapacitated, you can't meet the needs of those around you. Life is no different. Taking time away from your children to make you a better parent may seem counterintuitive. But you will do your children a disservice if you constantly interact with them while being upset, overtired, stressed out, or as any less than version of yourself. Keep your hobbies intact. Find what it is that centers you, re-energizes you, and do it. Music, comedy, art, crafts, photography, reading, writing, cooking, or going out for some good food. You give your children timeouts to calm down. Take timeouts yourself. Taking breaks at key moments when you feel angry, overwhelmed, or overtired is essential. Some other advice that I often give parents is to take it easy on yourself. You're doing the best you can. Oftentimes, parents are perfectionistic and look at every little detail they think they're doing wrong as a parent. One of my favorite questions to ask is, are you doing a better job than your parents did? All we can do is try and make a better life and make better choices and be a better parent than our parents. Other things that I tell my clients is just really normalizing, is that parenting is hard. I parented 2 children and they were great children, but it was difficult. And I did nothing perfectly. I did the best I could. My goal was to do better than my parents did. And though my parents did a good job, I feel like I took the next step. I took the baton and I increased on what I gave my kids versus what I was given. I was never going to be a perfect parent. I still am not. But if we can continue to increase and continue to grow and continue to get better, I think that's a realistic goal. Consistency in co-parenting. I've learned that several of the different issues we see, like conflict with a couple, misbehavior in children at schools or at home, or emotional issues with children, can all stem from the same cause: inconsistency in parenting. Oftentimes we get a mom and a dad, and mom is way stricter and dad is way more liberal and more free with what they can do. And so what do kids do? They know that mom's going to say no, so they go to dad. And then now mom and dad are fighting. And the problem is that when dad thinks mom is too strict, he actually becomes less strict. And if mom thinks that dad is not strict enough, she becomes too strict. And so we think we're trying to counterbalance the other person when we're just creating a two-party system that causes a lot of problems. When children enter the mix, things can feel a bit out of balance between mom and dad if a plan isn't made for consistency. When preparing to be parents, or if your parents are ready, one of the most important things parents can do is talk with each other about parenting. It is important to sit down together and plan out some basic rules of the house. Then also discuss how you want to discipline those children if those rules aren't followed. Having this plan in place is key to things running a bit more smoothly down the road. Talk with your partner about ways they can support you. Oftentimes, one parent can feel they're alone and taking on the role of the bad guy disciplinarian with the kids. And since each parent wants to be a good balance of fun with their kids, this can lead to conflict. Reacting consistently can not only help the couple feel that things are more balanced, but present a united front to the kids. Not only can it be hard to keep consistency between you, but staying consistent within the rules can also be tough. Dishing out a negative consequence to the kids can often bring consequences to the parents, like feeling sorry for your kids, hurt by your children, missing out on plans or fun activities. It can be very tempted to let the rule slide in certain circumstances. But doing this not only confuses kids, it also encourages the kids to try a little harder in the future to get the rules to slip again. Consistency is the key. Experiencing the stress of negative consequences now will lead to less stress in the future as the children learn to better behave. Other stress relievers are simply getting exercise, eating well, and getting enough sleep. It's amazing how those three things can affect your mental health. If you're not getting enough sleep, if you're not eating well, if you're not getting exercise, you're going to have a shorter fuse. You're going to be healthier and you're going to be a better parent as you get good sleep, as you eat well, and as you get plenty of exercise. Personally, I do yoga, and yoga not only helps me get great exercise, it helps me get centered, helps me stay calm, helps me be present, which I believe makes me a better parent. So the reason co-parenting is so important is because children oftentimes will do whatever they can to manipulate to get what they want. Their frontal lobes are not fully developed, and really they just want what they want. And so they'll go to the easier parent, or they'll pit parents against them, or they will do lots of different things to get what they want. We have to be very, very careful and be the adults. Be co-parenting. Talk about the rules, agree with them, and then go forward and talk to the children. Oftentimes, I think it's great advice if there's an issue that comes up that's difficult. You and your spouse go behind closed doors, talk about it, calm down, figure out what the best solution is, and then have a common front and go talk to your children. It is also incredibly important to co-parent well with divorced couples. Co-parenting is actually the number one determinant of children's mental health and whether they'll be well or not in divorce. Divorce does not ruin children. Bad parenting can ruin children. And oftentimes in divorce, we have, one parent feels guilty and so they're spoiling, and one parent is trying to overcompensate for the spoiling and so they get too strict, and neither are parenting well. And so I think it's so important, if at all possible, put your differences aside, put your anger aside. Obviously, you're divorced for a reason, but do what's best for the kids. Talk to the other parent. Try and be as consistent as you possibly can to love and care and provide a good environment for these children. They really have been through enough. If you'd like any help or additional advice on co-parenting, whether you're married or divorced, please feel free to contact us at Stenzel Clinical Services. We have several counselors who specialize in parenting and stress management, and we'll be happy to help you out with whatever you may need. That's going to do it for today's episode. Visit stenzelclinical.com/news for helpful tips on parenting, relationships, managing anxiety, battling depression, and more. You can also find us on social media with the handle @StenzelClinical. If you enjoyed our show, please be sure to leave a review. As always, thank you for listening.